we want you to put your snowshoes on and head over down to the Temple Theater because we have a great production you do not want to miss called My Funny Valentine.
Pat Hazel and Karen Morgan joining us in studio right now. We need to find out about your funny Valentine.
Well, all right. Well, we're making fun of relationships and love and dating and courtship and families, all of that kind of thing. Kind of a political palette changer for all of you around here. Nothing to do with anything but like family dynamics and communication, that sort of thing.
So a very fun show as we're getting ready for Valentine's Day. This might be a perfect, present
we
to
give
take
them
your loved
tips.
one out to.
We have a moment in the show, like prior to the show, they can fill out cards that have any anonymous question. And so at the end of the show, we answer them. And we've had some good suggestions from people. Some cheap guys, older guys have said that they don't buy their wife a card anymore. They take them to the store, they pick the card out and show it to them, and then they put it back in the rack. And then they say, this is the practical.
Wait a minute, that is brilliant.
I knew we would go for
Are you
that.
serious?
No, they're no longer married.
We
It's a whole
learned
different
by doing
deal.
this.
Guys, don't do that.
No.
Don't do that. So worth the price of admission, you guys are giving free relationship advice away. But that's not one of the
From
things you should do.
professionals.
So
Wonderful.
Karen, how did you get involved in this?
Well, I met Pat years ago. I do stand-up comedy. Before that, I was a trial attorney. And then I have 3 kids. I have 3 teenagers, so that sort of led me into the comedy world.
Okay, so you have teenager, stand-up comedian, and an attorney. So
Yeah,
that all
just
goes hand in hand.
Pick one. I'm going to be a wrestler next.
You saw that.
I saw your report.
But you were considered the funniest mom in America?
I was on Nick at Night Search for the Funniest Mom in America. That's actually how I got started, was on that show. I was a finalist on that.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So how did you know going from being an attorney that you would be the funniest mom?
Well, I went from attorney to having 3 kids in 3 years, which I had to get out of my house. I was at home with the kids. That's how I started into the comedy. So, and I just kept doing it. It's great fun.
Wonderful. Well, Pat, you obviously have a background in comedy as well. You were a writer on Seinfeld, also been on The Tonight Show.
I did, yeah. That I got to say, that was great experience to work with people like Jerry and Jay and all of that sort of thing. Gave me, in fact, one of my very earliest appearances in Des Moines was as an opening act for Jay at the Ingersoll Dinner Theater.
Yes,
really.
That was a long time ago.
A long time ago.
Wow.
And I came here one time as an opening act for Sheena Easton. So I was living in Omaha at the time.
Like?
Well, I'll tell you what, it was the greatest review of my career. I'm still working on one as good. It looked like I bought it out of a carnival. It said, Sheena Easton's fine, comic steals the show. Which was awesome, right? Except that I was promptly fired. So the next thing they go, you're not supposed to be better than the person. So, but I learned a lesson on that one to hold back a little bit.
So Karen, your stand-up,
Yes.
the experience in stand-up, how does that help you in what you're doing now?
Oh, in terms of, being at home, being able to make fun of my husband for having vasectomies and things like that.
That's good, yeah.
It's great
Okay.
fun. Good communication builder at home. No, he gets a little, my husband is a great sport. We've been married 20 years, so he is the person I draw from the most. And Funny Valentine allows me to really make fun of him because he's not here. He's in Maine.
So, now,
nice.
so do you use any personal stories?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you do?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, this is getting
yeah.
better as we go
Absolutely.
along.
We're
Take a
showing some
look.
clips of what people can experience, but kind of tell us about the show. We know what it's about, but is it the 2 of you on stage the entire time? Are you telling personal stories? What's happening?
We kind of we swap off. We each do our stand-up, and then at the end we do the thing where we ask the audience to ask us questions that they need help with. So
And what they're
it's a little
seeing
bit of
right now,
yeah.
we do a little skit together about how in relationships, what you're thinking and what you're saying don't match up. So we record our thought bubbles, and then we say the one thing, and then you can hear us thinking the other thing, which everybody seems to agree about.
I think a lot of people do that. Yeah, obviously. Yeah. So.
Do you find when you're traveling with the show that a lot of people have the same questions, or they kind of go through the same thing relationship-wise with their spouse, with their kids, things like that?
It is very, very similar. We have some of the same questions. We have some naughty questions every now and then. We have to sort of filter those, but a lot of people do have the same questions about communication. So it's
What's the most common one that you can think of offhand?
how often?
Yeah. Okay.
That's a big one. What's
What's the answer?
And you guys have the answer.
No, what's the answer?
Here's the thing, we have to say we're not sanctioned therapists, but we're happy to give advice.
Disclaimer. How about that? We have a disclaimer on the interview. Okay.
There are certain things, though, like the invention of staycation is the worst thing. Like, whoever tried to sell that to their spouse, it's like, honey, we're going to go nowhere. We're going to stay home. In fact, it's like a day like today when you tell a homeschool kid, that they can have a snow day. They're like, what? I have to stay here in school? So it's kind of like that. It's a big jip, But, and I brought, just so you don't think everything's about the cards, I brought, you guys a Whitman sampler so you can have a little Valentine experience of your own.
Sweet for the sweet.
There you go.
Well, you could get into that.
That works.
No, you can't.
Oh, Lou, no.
You say, no, you cannot.
That's fine.
I still want to get my answer here. I still haven't had the answer.
Oh,
but
no, it's two different answers,
Yeah.
and that's the whole point.
The men with the answers frequently, the women is like, it goes on some checklist.
Oh, is
I'll
it?
knock it off after the groceries.
Oh, that's true. So there's like a female perspective and a male perspective.
On all of these,
Yeah.
right.
On every single one.
Often
Okay.
when we get the question is who answers first. Like sometimes I'll just defer to her.
Really?
You know? Yeah, about honeydew lists and about, you know, like I say, if you put it on the list and you put the list on the fridge, then lay off, right? Let me go look at the list. Don't go, did you check the list? It's like, no, the list is there for me to go check in on, right?
It's on the agenda.
Right. And she says, how do you know that we've seen the list? If we're napping, we're aware there's a list. Like,
I was going to say, how often do you
we're
check
building
them?
up our energy to get to the list.
To get to the list.
Right.
See, this
Wonderful.
could be very informative, very helpful, guys, to check it out. And ladies, on the other hand, might learn something too.
I was going to say, free relationship advice if you buy a ticket to this great show. It's tonight through the weekend.
Right. Mostly laughs, lots of laughs.
Lots of laughs, a great date night idea, or just a great time to take a friend or a loved one to see My Funny Valentine. Temple Theater, folks, it's the perfect intimate space for a show like this. Tickets starting is $20, as low as $20.
great.
So great things going on there. DesMoinesPerformingArts.org for all the ticket details. Go there tonight through Sunday.
Right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you
Thanks for
so
coming in.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.